Hello friends, welcome to Insights ICANN Initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about following these four topics, such as Houthis attack UAE and India to host second Voice of Global South Summit, and third one is India-UK FTA, that is free trade agreement, and India's FTA 2.0 edition, and finally we will end this video with Global Talent Competitive Index and what is the rank and which organization publishes this report. So these are the four topics we are going to discuss in this video. Now without further delay, first let us see Houthis attack UAE. First, when we are discussing these kind of issues, especially related to international relations, we have to start with a map pointing. Let us see Houthis. Houthis is a rebel group which is related to Yemen, okay, and it is a Shia based group. They believe in the Shia ideology. You know that in Islamic religion, Shia and Sunni, there are two groups in the Islamic religion based on their faith. Okay, Shia dominant countries are Iran and Iraq, and Sunni dominated countries are Saudi Arabia and UAE. Now let's see. So this is the map pointing, and UAE was attacked by the Yemen based terrorist organization Houthis. Okay, Houthis is considered as terrorist organization by international organization, and now Houthis having the control of the northern part of this Yemen, as well as the capital of the Yemen is also under the control of Houthi rebels. This Yemen is very significant because it is present near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which connects the Red Sea as well as the Gulf of Aden. Through this Bab el-Mandeb, almost a majority of the oil trade, global oil trade, happens through this strait. So obviously every country across the globe, they expect a stability in the country of Yemen. Otherwise, the oil trade will get impact. Of course, Indian people also. So many people from India, they are working in Yemen-based companies, and any instability there, it affects Indians who are working in Yemen as well as who are working in Oman as well. Previously, Government of India conducted Operation Rahat to repatriate Indians who stuck in Yemen internal war. So this is the understanding you have to know. Recently then, why these Houthi rebels, they attacked UAE? Because UAE, they are interfering, they are supporting indirectly to certain factions in Yemen. That is the reason these Houthi rebels, they attacked UAE in protest of UAE's involvement in the Yemen's internal politics. That is the issue. Let's see. Drone attack. Drone attack, it was happened in Abu Dhabi, that is the capital of UAE, and these Houthi rebels, they are the Shia ideology based one, and they are based from Yemen. Now they are controlling the northern part of the country, including the country's capital Sana'a, for almost 7 years. They claimed the drone attack's responsibility. Of course, India conveyed the solidarity with UAE, and India clearly saying that these kind of attacks are unacceptable in nature at any form. In 2021, the same Houthi rebels, there was a ballistic missile attack by the same Houthi rebels on the Saudi capital Riyadh as well. That means consistently they are attacking the Saudi Arabia and UAE because of their constant involvement in the this Yemen internal politics. Reason is UAE is backing up certain forces in Yemen, and Houthi rebels are protesting that. They are giving clear message that UAE should stay out of Yemen, otherwise this UAE will subjected to this kind of attacks in future as well. Concern, Yemen is strategically present near the strait of Bab el-Mandeb, which connects the Gulf of Aden as well as the Red Sea. And this conflict is also seen as a regional power conflict between the Shia dominated countries as well as the Sunni dominated countries. Sunni dominated countries such as Saudi Arabia and Shia dominated country such as Iran. Now India's interest, major thing is oil trade will get affected. Indians who are living in Yemen and nearby country Oman. India's initiative previously, India done Operation Rahat to evacuate around 4,000 Indians who are working in Yemen in 2015. They stuck in the internal war of Yemen. So this is today's first topic. Now let's see the second topic. This is about you can see the imaginary line which is dividing the developing as well as underdeveloped nations as well as the developed countries. The southern part of this imaginary line is known as Global South. We are discussing that India is going to host second Voice of the Global South Summit. Actually, this Voice of Global South Summit, it is an initiative from India. It is a platform where these developing countries, they express their concerns and also they express their developmental programs as well as their initiative regarding combating the environment as well as climate change and various other issues. So Prime Minister will inaugurate the second summit of Voice of Global South Summit. It is the second one. The inaugural one was also hosted by India. Now let's see. This Voice of Global Summit, it provides common platform for the developing countries which are present in the Global South to express their perspective and their priorities on several issues. What is the main aim of this platform? The main aim is to find out the solution for common challenges facing by the developing countries in terms of the climate change, overcoming the poverty, hunger and economic inequalities. These are the issues will be discussed in this common platform. This particular platform is inspired by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popular slogan, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vishwas aur Sabka Prayas. On these sloganeering, we initiated this project, that is the developmental fruits should be distributed among all the countries across the globe. That means economic inequality should be reduced. Of course, India always wish for the Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. We see world as a one family. Okay, that is in our philosophy as well. Even Aurobindo Ghosh, a popular Indian philosopher, also says that okay, nationalism is a part of the universal spirit. Global South, it refers to countries which are present in Asia, Africa and South America. They mainly categorized based on their economic development and historical factor. Historical factor in the sense, majority of these countries experienced the colonial ruling. So that's they are economically backward as well. Features of Global South. These are the common features among majority of the countries in Global South. They are low income countries. They are not strictly limited to Southern Hemisphere. Even some of the countries are present in Northern Hemisphere as well. They use as a value free alternative to third world. Okay, third world, instead of the third world we are using the word Global South. Major countries present in Global South: Brazil, China, India, Indonesia. These are some of the major countries present in Global South. India's context. Previously, India was not that much represented in the Global South. Nowadays, India is voicing out the countries on behalf of the Global South. India is raising the concerns on behalf of Global South. India is calling for reforms in international organizations such as UN Security Council, UNO and IMF. And emerging economies like India and China, they are seeking cooperation with other countries in the Global South countries. The challenges is the dominance of the Global North in the international affairs. To overcome the challenges of the dominance of Global North, this Global South, it has to assert their rights. It has to represent their issues. As a part of that, India is representing the Global South very effectively. Recently, India raised voice on behalf of Global South even in G20 as well. Apart from G20, even in the WTO summits as well. Now, the third topic is about free trade agreement. You know that students, previously whatever the free trade agreement India used to make, those agreements did not give much positive result to India. That is the reason we revamped the free trade agreement and we are following now the free trade agreement 2.0 initiative. This 2.0 initiative is going to lessen the trade deficit to India, as well as it will more strictly enforce country of origin. For example, what is the country of origin? When you are giving benefit to one country, the products which are manufactured in that country only, they will get benefits. The products which are manufactured in other country and which are exported from this country, they won't get benefited. For example, if India is having the free trade agreement with UAE, then the product should be manufactured at least 40% in UAE. But previously what used to be happen? Products used to manufacture in Pakistan and they used to export to UAE, and from UAE they used to come to India. So that they used to avoid the trade barriers between the India and Pakistan. To prevent that, now we imposed more percentage for the country of origin norms. So these are the various initiatives we introduced in FTA 2.0. Now India is negotiating for FTA, free trade agreement, under FTA 2.0 framework. Previously we used to have free trade agreement, some kind of trade agreement with UK when UK was a part of the European Union. Now you know that UK came out of the European Union under a campaign known as Brexit. Now if this free trade agreement becomes successful, we are going to use the same template for even the India EU free trade agreement as well. And now we will see various levels of trade agreement between nations, such as preferential trade agreement, CECA, comprehensive economic cooperation agreement, comprehensive economic partnership agreement, and economic union, trade bloc, various levels of trade agreement. Now we will see. In the backdrop, you are seeing Indian Prime Minister as well as the British Prime Minister. India-UK free trade agreement, it is negotiated under the India FTA 2.0 approach. The India-UK FTA, it will provide a template for the future India-EU FTA. Earlier FTAs, we used to follow the FTAs 1.0 with ASEAN, Japan. They given moderate results to India. They did not significantly help to India. Now the FTA 2.0, India learned lessons from FTA 1.0, so we drafted the new FTA, that is FTA 2.0. Under this FTA 2.0, India is recently signed free trade agreement with Mauritius, UAE, Australia. Okay, with Australia even we are having this Malabar Navy exercise as well, and Quad also. With any country, as the economic closeness is getting improved, as the economic integration is getting improved, we will go from, first we will start with the preferential trade agreement, slowly we will go towards like free trade agreement. Later that you can expand further, and the highest one is the establishing of the economic market. You will see this kind of economic market. The perfect example is European Union, where they don't have much internal barriers. They will have only a common external barrier with non-European countries. Even they can have a common currency also. So with any country, economic relations, first we will start with the preferential trade agreement. What is the preferential trade agreement? In this type of agreement, two or more countries, they give preferential rights to few goods. For example, imagine India and America are having the preferential trade agreement. In between both the nations, we are doing a trade in, for example, 100 goods. We will give preference. That means less tax to only 20 goods. Rest of the 80 goods we don't give any preference. So that means here in the preferential trade agreement, we will maintain the positive list of the goods, positive list of the items on which tax concession will be given, and the tariffs may even be reduced to zero for some products. India signed preferential trade agreement with Afghanistan. Next, free trade agreement. In the free trade agreement, we will cover large number of items. So that here, rather than maintaining the positive list, we will maintain the negative list. That means for which items free trade agreements will not work. So that is how we maintain the negative list of products and services which are maintained by the negotiating countries, on which the terms of free trade agreements are not applicable. Hence, free trade agreement is more comprehensive compared to the preferential trade agreement. If you go beyond the free trade agreement, next levels are comprehensive economic cooperation agreements. It is somewhat more comprehensive than the free trade agreement, and generally it covers trade tariffs and TQR rates only. They don't cover goods and services in detail. India signed CECA with Malaysia. Next level of trade agreement is CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. This not only covers the goods, it also covers services as well as investment, and even it also covers other aspects such as trade facilitation, customs cooperation, and intellectual property rights. India signed CEPA with South Korea and Japan. Next level, customs union. Here, group of countries, they reduce the internal barriers among themselves, and they have a common external barriers. So that is customs union as well as the common market. Compared to customs union, the more matured one is the common market. Next, economic union. This economic union, even they can have a common currency as well. Economic union, best example is the European Union. Economic union is the highest form of the economic integration. So these are the various levels of economic integration between the nations. Now compared to the previous earlier FTAs, the present FTAs. Now here we are ensuring more, here we are ensuring country of origin 40%, local value addition or country of origin 40% we are ensuring. And it is not only goods and services, it also applicable to innovations, anti-corruption, gender and investment initiatives. FTA 1.0, it confined only to goods and services. So compared to FTA 1.0, FTA 2.0 is more comprehensive in nature, and please have a look in detail. And the last one is about India's ranking in the Global Talent Competitiveness Index. This Global Talent Competitiveness Index, it measures what kind of measures or initiatives, like what kind of measures are taken by the country to retain the talent. Okay, it will be measured in two dimensions, output as well as input. Now we will see. Of course, it is published by a popular management institute, that is INSEAD. Okay, INSEAD. Now we will see further details, India rank as well as how our neighborhood countries are performing and which are the top performing countries. The Global Talent Competitiveness Index, India ranked unfortunately on a negative side. India rank dropped from 83 to 103. Okay, and it measures how countries are growing, and this report is published by prestigious business school INSEAD. This particular report or index, it measures global talent competitiveness, and it also helps in developing strategies to boost their economies. So by following this one, a country can develop their economy so they can retain the talent pool. This index, like I said earlier, this index consists of two subcategories, input as well as the output. Input, it measures the regulatory as well as the business environment and what are the steps being taken to foster that means improves the talent and retaining the talent in that country. Output, it is about the quality of talent which is producing in the particular country. You know that if a particular country is not providing suitable working conditions, then the brain drain will happen. Okay, highlights of this particular report, the 10th edition, it covering how many countries? It covering 134 countries. What are the top countries in this index? Singapore, Switzerland and United States, USA. These are the top performing countries, and other countries such as Denmark, Netherlands, Finland, Norway, they are in the top 10, and India's rank is 103. It is the worst performing country in BRICS. So we have to improve a lot. Okay, now let's see yesterday's video questions. Consider the following pace: green ammonia, brown ammonia, blue ammonia. How many of the above statements are correct? Only one statement is right in terms of the explanation. Okay, green ammonia, sustainable electricity and water; brown ammonia, fossil fuel; and blue ammonia, made without any fossil fuel. So out of this, one statement is right. Tell me, students, which of the one statement is right? Okay, please try to put your answer in comment section. Consider the following statement regarding the Sundarbans. Regarding the Sundarbans, all these three statements are right. Sundarban is a mangrove area. Of course, Sundarban Reserve Forest of Bangladesh, largest mangrove, as it is only mangrove forest in the world inhabited by tigers. As in the other mangroves, you won't find tigers. Consider the following statement regarding the CRISPR technology. CRISPR technology mainly involves the introduction of a new gene from outside. A special protein called Cas9 is used to break the DNA strand at specific points and remove the bad sequence. Which one is incorrect? It is not necessarily outside always. Okay, only one statement is incorrect, the other statement is right. Fourth one, aspartame, recently seen in news, is mainly used as artificial sweetener. Consider the following statement regarding the RoDTEP scheme. The RoDTEP, which one is correct? The RoDTEP scheme provides exporters with refunds for taxes. The merchandise exports from India scheme replace the RoDTEP scheme. The second statement is right. Now let's see today's MCQ question. Match the following one. Table. Here in this side different oceans given, and here different sea they are given, and pick the which one is related to what. Okay. Pick the right pair. Main question. What is free trade agreement? How are free trade agreements are important for India? And what are the various issues that are involved in the free trade agreement negotiations? How can the issues will be resolved? So this is today's main question. As we are reaching to the end of this video, let us see the quick revision. Let us do quick revision. In this particular video, we discussed about following 4 topics, and this is the detailed analysis regarding the today's current issues. Thank you.